Young artist Barış Akarsu tragically died in an accident that shocked the entire nation. His fans prayed for him by waiting in the hospital garden for days on end, but the painful end had already come. A lot was discussed and written after the crash. Some information was accurate, while others were merely rumors. However, you will see for the first time in this video the unknowns about Barış Akarsu's last days and the truths regarding his private life. In 2004, Barış Akarsu joined our lives via the Academy Turkey contest on ATV, setting himself apart from others. His long hair, earring, and eyeliner were not the only things that made him different. His behavior and attitude set him apart as well. Of course, just like in his competition, there were rivalries, debates, and fights. But his closest friend was his guitar. Music mattered more to him than anything else in his entire life.
Several months after the competition, she had amassed a considerable fan base, making it impossible for her to walk down the street without being recognized. Barış has released 2 albums and has made an impact on people with his music. The albums, his entire talent and energy on stage were showcased to Turkey. Subsequently, Barış received an offer for a series. In this series, he was to portray a rally driver.
Filming started on June 29, 2006, which is his birthday. In the first part, he will crash while rolling over in the race, but he will get out safely.
One complete year after, on June 29, 2007, Barış was once again involved in a crash. This time, its place was Bodrum Torba Junction, but there were no directors, cameras, or lights.
Beginning in May, the crew of the series was accommodated at Club Flipper in Yalıkavak, Bodrum to shoot the final episode.
Barış Akarsu had great relationships with everyone in the vacation village, and he was always smiling.
He was joyful, but a heart-wrenching issue lingered within him. Barış loved Zeynep Koçak.
It was such a great love that neither the colorful world of fame nor glory could separate them. Zeynep had a cheerful and humble personality, much like Barış. Barış only had eyes for Zeynep, ignoring everyone else.
But Zeynep, believing they had been draining each other recently, 6 months ago, he made a suggestion to separate for a period of time. For this reason, the paths diverged. However, Barış could neither remove Zeynep from his tongue nor from his heart. Barış Akarsu loved to help and often held charity concerts, even if the gossip magazines weren't very interested.
He had a very high sensitivity when it came to children suffering from leukemia.
Metin Sözüçetin, whom he loved like a brother, was the owner of the vehicle involved in the crash and was the closest acquaintance of Barış's helpful nature. Metin said, Barış was sensitive to the environment and people. In fact, he had sensitivity towards all living beings. If he were alive, he would have been Turkey's Bob Geldof or Bono.
Barış did not like being credited for the effectiveness of his contributions. He wanted everyone to know that these aids were made possible through the teamwork of his supportive friends.
The concert he gave at Bodrum Castle on June 23rd for children with leukemia was the first step of his sensitivity.
His principle was to reciprocate the love he deserved with love and art.
On June 27th, which was a Wednesday, he traveled to Izmir with Metin Sözüçetin just 2 days prior to the crash. At Tepecik Hospital, they were there to take care of 22 children with leukemia.
He played with the children, watched a movie, and sang songs to them. In these beautiful moments, Barış was striving to bring joy into their lives. I think he said goodbye to me. Erkan Arslan, the animation director at Club Flipper, was among the last to see him in the hotel. I was going to the lobby's restroom. His room overlooked the lobby floor. He had just taken a shower, his hair was wet, he was wearing jeans, but he was topless. He came over and we hugged. Interesting, but I think he said goodbye to me. The crash day. At 13 p.m. he entered the studio to record the song he would sing in the series. At 3:30 p.m. he came together with a group of enthusiastic fans.
The latest footage was now stored in a fan's archive. He left there and went to the airport with his girlfriend Zeynep and
to pick up their mutual friend Nalan Karaman.
The evening program was clear.
The first celebration will be held at the Kervansaray Hotel, and then it will conclude with a party on a boat at midnight where he will DJ himself. The second celebration was paid.
The money from the tickets, costing 100 Turkish liras, would be donated to leukemia-affected children again. Their fans were excited.
They waited for Barış Akarsu at the Kervansaray Hotel in early hours.
At that hours, Barış Akarsu was eating with his girlfriend Zeynep and Nalan Karaman in Torba. When they left the venue, Zeynep Koçak took the wheel of the car. Yet, he was rather unskilled in driving.
Bedia Kochova tells what the parking attendant said to her during her hospital days, which she calls a nightmare. Zeynep couldn't lift the car. The attendant said, "Brother, if you want, don't give the car." Barış said, No, she'll drive it." As they began their journey, Barış Akarsu's phone rang. The caller was Metin Sozuchetin and asked, "Where are you right now?" Barış was, "We will arrive in 15 minutes, brother," he replied. Shortly after, when they arrived to the Torba junction, one of the drivers from the Torba taxi stand at the junction, Mr. Talip, recounts what happened as follows. "The time was roughly 22:30 p.m. and we were waiting at the stop. We only heard the Coca-Cola truck honking horn sound twice. As we turned our heads, we noticed a car flying through in the air. We immediately went to them. I didn't know it was Barış Akarsu initially. An ambulance passed by and stopped. The ambulance attendant, the truck driver and I pulled Barış out of the vehicle together. The truck driver Halil Ibrahim Çetin was crying and said, 'I wish I had never gotten on the truck today.' According to the taxi driver, the car was being driven by his girlfriend Zeynep Koçak, not Barış Akarsu. Barış was in the passenger seat. I took off my pants by grabbing the belt. His hair covered his face. Pulling his hair, I got blood on my hand.
I looking to Barış with a small smile on his face, but we thought he was dead. The woman driving was also in a difficult situation. We got her out in 20 minutes. The other woman had been thrown from the vehicle and was lying on the grass. After hearing rumors about their alcohol use in the news, we decided to ask the taxi driver. No, says the taxi driver, Mr. Talip. They were definitely not drunk. If they were, we would have certainly noticed. Meanwhile, his loved ones still waiting at the Kervansaray Hotel, called Barış Akarsu, again after a long time had passed since the last phone call. The phone didn't answer even once. They called Zeynep Koçak, but she didn't answer either. Nalan Karaman also didn't respond. When they dialed Akarsu's phone again, it was answered. The answer to the question, "Where are you?" Without hearing the other side, answer came from not Barış, but from the strange voice. They hadn't crashed, come.